before the press conferences even start. I mean, we could talk for 45 minutes just about how atrocious the defense is.
He's just picking the big guys. Jordan Mailata, he's huge. He'll be good later on. Josh Sweat, he's tall as hell and strong. Let's get him. We'll figure him out. It's working.
Good morning, everybody. Let me get this. This overlay is not. I'm gonna have to give Jeremy a hard time. This overlay is not good for three people. Welcome to Trending in the AM right here on DSM Media. I'm your host, Phil Stiefel. Jeremy's a little under the weather, so we're gonna run without him this morning. Jam-packed show brought to you by Manscaped, the leader in men's grooming products. Make sure you check them out. Manscaped.com. Use promo code Trending for 20% off. But stay tuned. They have a special Black Friday sale. Those promo codes will get you 25% off this weekend for Black Friday. So make sure you check out manscaped.com. Get the person in your life exactly what they want. They won't be disappointed, and neither will you. Anyway, that business is out of the way. Jam-packed. My man Jason Voorhees is joining me here to co-host this morning. And to start things off this morning, my man Parcero, El Parcero Philly, hottest team in Philly. This guy covers the hottest team in Philly, the Philadelphia Union. Big win last Sunday against the New York Red Bulls in the first round of the playoffs. Got Nashville this week. Yes, let's talk some Union soccer right now.
Yeah, man. What an absolute week. The Union get their second playoff win in franchise history. What an emotional night. I'll tell you what, we had to wait 123 minutes for the only goal of that game. But listen, when you have the Red Bull and the Union play similar styles of soccer, both teams are defensive oriented. Both teams don't like to play with the ball at their feet. They like to go out and get the ball, create turnovers, and create goals that way. That's what you kind of expected, especially that's what this whole season was with Red Bull and Union in 3 matches that they faced off against each other. All low scoring. No team scored more than a single goal in all 3 matches. And we had 2 draws and a win. And that's what I kind of anticipated. But I would think that they would have gotten it done in regular time, but it wasn't the case. But, hey, we got some great fireworks. Glesnes with an absolute pure class, pure skill goal on that. Everyone went wild. I'm sure everyone saw me on Twitter going crazy as well. It was definitely a magical moment. And we're talking about the importance of the Union within the Philly sports landscape. You need moments like that. You need those defining franchise moments to ingrain with the Philly sports fans. And that was something we'll never forget. I'm ready to hang that picture up in my man cave, man, because that was a special moment.
I mean, and just that the feeling and the emotion. You're talking about how long it's been since a victory in the playoffs and all this kind of stuff. And all. I mean, I saw your stuff online, and I had quite a few friends that were down at the game. Just the atmosphere of being there. What was that like? I mean, we all know already that the Union crowds are always super passionate and a lot of fun and energetic. But when you're getting a playoff win at home also, I mean, it's got to be taken up a notch tenfold, doesn't it?
No, 100%. I mean, the atmosphere was absolutely as I anticipated. It's funny because 2 years ago in 2019, when we won our first playoff game against the Red Bull, it was a rainy day. It was damp, but we didn't care. We were still happy. We were still excited. But it was a beautiful Saturday afternoon. It was a little chilly, but it was still a great atmosphere. The Union took a little page out of Europe. A bunch of fans were holding up blue cards or gold cards. So before the match, you could see around the stadium. The stadium divided in blue and gold, which every other section. It was really cool to see. But no, everyone was really excited. I mean, especially when you heard that Glesnes goal, you heard that whole place just erupt, and that was absolutely spectacular to see as well, man. The excitement, man, was there, and we bring that momentum on to the next game. Already, we have a couple sections sold out. So if you guys are looking to go to that Nashville game on Sunday afternoon, 5:30 at Subaru Park. They're selling out quick. I had to get mine on Monday night real quick. I was like, babe, they're selling out pretty quick. We might have to get our tickets right now.
That'll be a packed house. Well, and that's a great segue. So 5:30 Sunday night, Nashville SC coming to town. What do we know about Nashville as a club right now? Like, where they stand.
I think for a lot of Union fans, it's a little nerve-wracking simply because Nashville plays similarly to how the Union play. They're very defensive-oriented. They like to create goals off of turnovers as well. That's how they're similar to us. My concern on Sunday is I feel like Nashville on offense have players that can get the job done more so than we can. They have this guy who plays as an attacking midfielder. So he creates the attack. He pulls the strings in the attack. His name's Hani Mukhtar. He's been absolutely spectacular, especially in their late stretch here. He's been scoring goals for them, creating for others. And then former Union striker CJ Sapong is now in Nashville. He's been their main goal scorer down there. And honestly, he's much better than what we have right now in Kasper Shabilko just from CJ's performance. So that's really what worries me, because I think it's going to be similar to what you saw Saturday. It's going to be a low-scoring game. It's going to be back and forth. It's going to be a physical match. But in those closing moments, who's going to come up big? And that is my concern. That's why I think a lot of Union fans are nervous. But I think the one thing that we can hold on to is I feel that Nashville coming into this environment, and I think that's a Sunday afternoon, the Soup is going to be rocking. And I don't know if they're going to be able to handle all that. And I think that being at home, that will definitely help the Union.
Look, yeah, I was actually an interesting thing, because I was going to ask that question. Like, I don't know soccer, the ins and outs. I've been to 4 or 5 Union game. It's a great atmosphere. I don't know the ins and outs. But like other sports, does the crowd really affect the home team and the visiting team?
Yes.
Like a passionate crowd, it's just as much, any more so? Or, because obviously that place, Subaru Park's going to be jumping. So that's obviously got to psych up the Union, but it's also got to be, I don't want to use the word distraction, but, hurt Nashville a little bit there, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously as a professional athlete, you got to be able to know how to handle those type of environments, right? But when you're talking about soccer, especially at Subaru Park, the Sons of Ben section, the tree as they call it, it's pretty close to the pitch. So you can hear us. And I mean, you can hear us from all around the stadium, but when you got, I want to say over 5,000 fans just screaming and chanting for 90 minutes, that definitely gets into your head. And I do think that will have something to do. Nashville came into Philly, I want to say September. They came into Philadelphia. Both teams were riding high, and we were able to get the win. The issue was Nashville was missing some players due to injuries, red cards. So this is going to be a different type of Nashville team than we faced in Subaru Park earlier this year. So both games were only 1 goal scored. Union won 1-0 in September, and then on July 4th, the Union lost 1-0 in Nashville. And so I'm assuming it's gonna be a low scoring game, but the one thing I'm gonna keep my hopes up for is the crowd environment. Hopefully we can rattle them up a little bit.
All right. So key to the game for the Union to win, and how you see the game playing out. Like if you're gonna just predict this is how it's gonna play out the entire game. How's it gonna play out, and the key for them to be the victors.
Right. So I think that the Union's defense is going to stay status quo. Like they've been the rock. They've been the main thing that we can hang our hats on, with the back line of Kai Wagner, Jakob Glesnes, who scored that game winner against the Red Bull, Jack Elliott, and of course Olivier Mbaiza, who should be back after missing the last match, the first round, due to World Cup qualifications. So those guys are clog up there. And, of course, you have one of the best goalkeepers in the MLS in Andre Blake. So there's something to worry about there. To me, it's up to the attack. Can they create enough? And we always criticize Kasper Shabilko. As many goals as he does score, he does lack that instinct, that killer mentality that is really just kind of killing us. And he really was hurting us in the attack against the Red Bull. I mean, that's why I tell you, like, we should have won in the 90 minutes. But when you got Kasper Shabilko late on runs, he's dropping way too back to hold up the play. That kind of hurts the Union as well. So to me, if this Union attack can run fluidly and can get a couple chances on Nashville, Daniel Gazdak, the number 10 that they signed in the middle of the season, actually, he's starting to pick it up, and he's starting to get his feet under him, and he's going to be able to pull the strings there. So to me, it's really up to this Union attack to play up to par. We're also going to get Jamiro Montero back as well, who's also on the African World Cup qualifications as well. So he had to miss against the Red Bull. And he's someone that can create the attack. The only issue is there are times when Jamiro acts like he is Ronaldinho, and he likes to do a couple tecker moves, and he likes to create for himself. But sometimes Jamiro, especially in the final third, it's better to find that pass than trying to take on 2 to 3 defenders. Like what are we doing here? Like Kyrie Irving, like trying to split 2 defenders. But to me, the key is the Union attack, and you got to be consistent for 90 minutes. You got to keep up the pace for 90 minutes, because Nashville and Gary Smith, the coach of Nashville, has some championship pedigree. He did win in this league with Colorado, if I'm not mistaken, back in 2010. So he knows exactly what to do. But Jimmy Boy, he's got this trust in his guys, and I think that's what's been helping him for so long. And I think that the Union are going to bring it all together. I have the feeling, guys. I have the feeling they're going to bring it all together. They're going to be able to get that dub. And, of course, the Soup's going to be rocking. That's going to be the key right there, man.
Yeah, I really hope so. I mean, it's just a fun story because, we've had so much negativity in Philly sports in this past year. And to have the Union playing the way they are and with a chance to make a good little run here, even non-Union fans are hyped for the Union right now. Even people that don't know. I know I will be watching the game on Sunday, even though, it's not my forte and everything because they've got this city jumping. And I love it.
Yeah, I mean, we got 1 o'clock Birds, right? And then
1 o'clock Birds kickoff. Yeah, absolutely.
You got plenty of time to get yourself another 12-pack, 6-pack, or come back and watch Union at 5:30. You guys got plenty of time. So your Sunday's set.
I love it. I'll drive home from the Poconos, watch football, then watch some more football. That's the only way you can do it right there. There you go. Well, anyway, El Parcero Philly, he is the man. He knows his Philadelphia Union stuff inside out. I appreciate your time. And hey, we'll be cheering. I know you'll be rocking and rolling with it and all. And go Union and do.
Good on.
Yeah.
Hey, Phil and Jason, thank you so much for having me on.
Have a good one, and we'll be watching for you. Have a good one, all right?
Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving. That's right. Forgot about that. There you go.
See you guys. Thank you.
See you now.
Peace out, brother.
All right, that was El Parcero there, one of the team members over at DSM
awesome.
covering the Union. Yeah, I mean, his knowledge of soccer is second to none, at least compared to what I know, because I know literally nothing. I had check marks up here on my screen just to remind me exactly what was going on.
You know nothing, and I said nothing.
Yeah, exactly. I asked like 3 pretty general questions, but that's the best I could do with my soccer knowledge there. All right, let's get the overlay back up on the screen because it is, Jason Voorhees, host of Drunk Sports and Metal and Drunk on Ice podcast. My Flyers guy, my go-to for the Flyers, and we do a weekly segment here on Trending in the AM. What's up with the Flyers? The Flyers have now lost 3 in a row. They got a game against the Panthers tonight. So, Jason, what's up with the Flyers?
Well, I hate to keep beating a dead horse, but
I kind of had a feeling you were going to bring up the same thing that you've been saying.
It's crazy because I don't want to. I want to come on here and actually say, wow, the Flyers had a 5-goal output, but unfortunately, that's not the case. And
they had 5 goals combined in their last 3 games.
You mentioned it. It's extremely concerning right now to me, this team, the way that they're trending. Speaking of trending,
right?
Not only have they lost 3 of their last 4, they've lost 4 of their last 5, and the only win in that bunch was the overtime win against Calgary, where they won 2-1. And Carter Hart played out of his mind in that game. If it weren't for Carter Hart, they would have lost that game. So my point is that I've been saying it, and I'm going to keep saying it because I'm not seeing any changes. And I'm starting to get a little annoyed with Alain Vigneault. I think it's time that we start, I've been very patient with the guy, but there comes a time when you have to start being critical. And you know me, you and I are the same. We call it how it is. We speak the language. When things aren't right, we're gonna call it out. And this Flyers team right now, I mean, early in the season they came out with that energy, and they seemed very passionate. I'm not seeing the same energy level. The last week and a half, I'm starting to see some tired legs. I'm wondering if like the injury bug is starting to, get to them as well. I mean, we had Kevin Hayes come back and he went right back out, and the same thing with Ryan Ellis. And they're now
and just to touch on that, Kevin Hayes, he's projected to be out for several weeks again, right? It's not a short-term injury, 1 or 2 games. It's going to be another, probably 3-week stretch without him at least, right?
Yeah, and same for Ellis. I think they said Ellis 4 to 6 weeks. So you're talking like right now you have 2 of your key guys out. Now listen, they played well for the majority of this season, the early part without those 2 guys. But I guess where I'm at with this team, like I said, I hate to be saying the same. I feel like I'm repeating myself every time.
And I kind of feel like that with we've done that with the Sixers and Ben Simmons. We've done that with Jalen Hurts. So many stories in Philadelphia sports in general are just so repetitive lately because nothing changes. And the Flyers are exactly that. I almost feel like the Flyers need to make a bold move, even if it doesn't work out. Whether it's to get a goal scorer, whether it's to trade to keep, they got to do something massive to shake it up because the energy is just not there. We just had El Parcero talking Union, and the energy that team is bringing Philadelphia. The Flyers are the complete opposite. The Flyers are bringing no energy. I do this morning show now every day, and we cover all 4 or 5 teams, national stories. So I'm trying to watch more hockey than I used to so that I can talk about it. But the team is so blah and boring, and I don't want to say bad, but just right there, they're like at the Mendoza line in baseball. They're just there, and it's kind of frustrating because I'm trying to put my effort into them, but they're not giving me a reason to enjoy it.
No, and you're absolutely spot on. Like, the frustrating point is that Carter Hart is playing unbelievable hockey. Like,
absolutely. Right
now, I mean, obviously there's a lot of great goaltenders, especially this season. Like there's the guy in Calgary is playing. I believe he has 5 shutouts now. Markstrom, the guy we faced last night, Vasilevsky, he's no pushover. I mean, obviously, the funny thing is Tampa Bay early in the season came out a little slow, but they're now you're seeing that, and they're missing some key guys. They're missing Braden Point, who's going to be out long term, and they also lost Kucherov, who obviously was out all last year, came back for the playoffs, had played pretty much MVP of the playoffs, and then now he's out again. So they're missing 2 big guys, but yet you see they just don't miss a beat, and that's the difference between teams like Tampa Bay, Edmonton. We spoke about it before, Phil, and like I said, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but the Flyers just do not have any elite.
So the question is, how bad does it have to get before they make that big shakeup? Whether it's a massive change in the lineup, sending someone down, bringing someone up, shaking up the lines massively, going out and making a bold trade. How bad does it have to get for them to make those big, bold moves, whether it's firing, the coach, whatever bold move it's going to take? How bad does it have to get?
Well, I mean, you're at the point now where if the Flyers, if the division wasn't as tough as it was, I would say, maybe let's just wait and see and play the wait and see game and be more patient. But the fact of the matter is we went into this season already saying that the Flyers are kind of in the middle of the pack in the division. Like they're not talent-wise on the same level as these other teams. And that to me signifies, you're right. I think it's going to take a bold move or some kind of shakeup with this team, whether it's a big trade. Now, the good thing about this is that the Flyers do have the ammo if they want. So the Flyers could legitimately go out and get a guy like Johnny Hockey or Tarasenko from the Blues. And honest to God, I wish they would, because I think that's
you don't need to see any more. Just go do it right now.
I don't need to see any more. Yeah. I mean, I feel like
we're not talking about the same thing every week when you're on the show.
I feel like I'll be saying the same thing on next week's show, whatever day we decide to do the show. I feel like I'm going to have the same thing. Even if they win, it just seems to me right now that this team is definitely trending backwards. Okay. And unfortunately, right now, that to me, the only bright spot, one of the few bright spots, is Carter Hart. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because I saw a tweet earlier today, and it's just kind of just shows you the depth.
Earlier today, it's 8:50 in the morning. How early did you get up and check Twitter?
Probably like 6 o'clock.
Oh my God.
I haven't been sleeping well, so when I'm up, that's kind of when I'm in bed. That's what I'm doing, checking out Twitter. But
I have no idea what that means there, Drew. But thanks for checking in. Whoa, I think that was an emoji that did not transfer over, buddy.
But I read a tweet by Adam Kimmelman. He's a big hockey guy, and so Flyers goalie Carter Hart in his past 7 games has a .941 save percentage while facing 33 1.8 shots a game. Unfortunately, his record is only 3-2-2, and during that time, the Flyers have averaged 1.55 goals a game. That's just not going to cut it. Regardless, Carter Hart could be allowing 2.5 goals a game, and you're giving up 1.5, and you're going to lose. So we know what the problem with this team is. Right. The defense has drastically improved. They can't put pucks in the net, and until they get going or someone kind of rises up and starts doing that, this team's in trouble. And
I kind of feel like the Flyers, and I'm not saying they need to do exactly what the Sixers did, but this Flyers team is exactly where the Sixers were before the process started. In no man's land, in that 7th, 8th, 9th seat before there was play-in rounds in the NBA and stuff, where they had their biggest star was an Andre Iguodala, who was a good player, but he wasn't that go-to bucket guy like Claude Giroux or Couture. They're not the 40, 50 goal scorers that you need. There's a lot of similar parallels. And yeah, the Sixers made a really bold decision. They blew it up. They did the process. They tanked and all that. That's another whole subject. I'm not saying the Flyers need to do that, but you got to do something, because otherwise nobody wants to cheer for a team that's just going to be middling in the middle of the pack. And at this rate, nobody on their team is good enough to – it's not like somebody on their team is all of a sudden going to become that guy. So, they got to make a big, bold move, because unfortunately, what's up with the Flyers is going to be a very boring segment weekly if they don't do something.
I coming into the year, I was kind of looking at a guy like Travis Konecny as a guy that, wow, I think maybe he'll have a comeback year. And he has played well. And I think I talked about it last week. He's played well. He's not, but the stats aren't showing up. But He's actually playing well. He's a guy that I would look to kind of package, because I think teams around the league would still look at Travis Konecny as a nice piece. Mm-hmm. If I'm the Flyers, I'm contacting Calgary tomorrow, and I want Johnny Hockey. I believe
tomorrow, Thanksgiving is not celebrating Canada tomorrow, so they can call up there and they'll still be in the office working there. So,
well, and the funny thing is Gaudreau, he's made it known. I mean, he's a local guy. He's from Jersey, so he said multiple times that he would love to play in Philly. So let's get it done. Like AV, Chuck Fletcher, get on the phones. Start, throwing some offers out there, because, like I said, I don't think you have the benefit of waiting. I think you're going to get to a point, if you wait, you might be too far out to make any kind of difference.
Absolutely agree with you on that.
I'm not saying I don't want to trade, my real young guys. Like, I don't want to trade a Cam York. If that's what it's going to take, I'm waiting, because Cam York, to me, I believe. Frank, my buddy Frank from Flyers Alley and Frank the Tank Show, he's talked about Cam York multiple shows, and he's kind of plugged in more than me. He kind of goes to the practices and stuff, and from what I hear, he's a guy that could come up towards the end of the year. He's able to come up now if they wanted to and play well, but I think they're kind of taking the patient route and kind of let him grow a little more in the AHL. Now, like I said, the Flyers do have the capital, though, to go out and make some moves. So this is my plea. I'm pleading right now. Do something, because it's getting frustrating.
Anything. So real quick, so we can wrap up the Flyers here. They're on the second half of a back-to-back tonight in Florida. They got the Florida tonight. They had Tampa last night that they lost to. Then they got Carolina Friday, Sunday, New Jersey. So by the time we do our next segment, whether it be Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday next week, there's anywhere from 4 to 5 more games in the next week or so. You got Florida, Carolina, the Devils, the Islanders, and the Rangers in the next 5 games. All, again, based off of where this team is, all winnable, but all losable games right there, especially with the downward trend that this team's happening. Next 4 or 5 games, are they going to win 3 out of these games, or is it a 1-3 stretch here, or whatever?
Well, I don't want to throw a selfish plug out there, but I did say on the last show that they were going to be 1-3 in the next.
You've been spot on for the first with the Flyers segments,
and they're 0-3. Of course, I did say their one win would come against Tampa last night, which I thought they would, but obviously I was wrong. So I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm gonna say that they're gonna win tonight. But I don't.
Says they're gonna go 3-2 in the next 5 games.
I just don't see it.
Yeah, I don't either.
Honestly,
they're gonna have to do something special for that to happen, in my opinion.
I mean, I'll stick with my prediction. I'm gonna say 1-3 still. Obviously, I think they win tonight. And then I'm looking at the next games. I think they're going to lose to Carolina, and
the Devils, the Islanders, the Rangers.
I think they could beat the Devils, and then obviously when you play division games, it's usually you get up for those games more so than the other the out of division, out of pocket games. So to me, I would say they're going to lose tonight. I'm sorry. I said to win the night, and then I believe in their next 4 they'll go 1-3 again. That's just what I'm saying.
So 2-3 in the next 5 games. We'll see next week if you're right. We'll see. Let's keep that string going there. 3 for 3.
I mean, I don't like it though. I don't like picking against the Flyers. I'm also not a homer, so I can't.
Drew, we will touch on this eventually. I did not do enough research here to know anything that's going on with the USFL that is back. The Philly Stars. Yeah, we will talk. I love talking all that stuff. And my partnership with Pro Level Sports Agency, a lot of the players that they represent are trying to get jobs on a lot of those USFL teams. So I'm sure I'll be bringing on a lot of agents and a lot of players to talk about the league that's starting back up. And they're trying to get their league start back up before the XFL does. So we will talk about that. But we will transition to football now. Let's get that, what's up with the Flyers off my screen. Let's get the other overlay back up here. So let's talk some football here. First off, a very general question for you. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving, obviously. We got 3 football games, as always, now on Thanksgiving, from the 2 now to the 3 the last half dozen or so years. Do you like Thanksgiving football? Is that part of your tradition, something you can't miss? Are you a fan that there's 3 games? And let me add to that question a little bit, that the Lions and the Cowboys are always 2 of the teams. Do you like that?
Dude, it's great questions, man. I've actually been thinking about that. It's funny. We didn't talk about this before the show, guys.
We didn't have any plan before the show whatsoever. We are winging it. Jeremy wasn't feeling well. All I knew is I had Union talk, and I knew I had Flyers talk, and then we were winging the rest of the show here. So that's also going to be what Trending for 4 Quarters is tonight. A totally winging it kind of show, having some fun. But I think it's an interesting question because I love having football on Thanksgiving. But because I'm not from Detroit and because I'm not from Dallas, I kind of get bored with the same 2 teams playing every single year, especially considering Detroit's been so god-awful for about the last 47 years.
I guess your question was kind of a 2-part question.
It was.
So I'll answer the first thing. Do I like football on Thanksgiving? I absolutely love football on Thanksgiving.
Okay.
To me, it is a tradition. I haven't obviously past recent couple years. I'm not super close to my family, so we haven't had the family dinners or around the games. But my early years in life, that's how it was. We watch we eat Thanksgiving dinner and watch football. So definitely love the fact of having Thanksgiving pigskin. Now, do I like 3 games? I don't like that they went to 3 games because I don't have the time to watch all 3 of them. I usually watch the early game, then we would eat dinner kind of in the middle, or towards the 4 o'clock game.
Right.
I liked it better that way. Yeah. And the second part of your question, I do think it would be more enjoyable if they changed the format and stopped having Dallas and the Lions all the time.
I compare it with
the Lions are so bad. Now, Dallas has had good years and bad years.
Yeah.
And let's face it, we loved when the Eagles played on Thanksgiving because that's amazing.
Yeah. Because I want to backtrack because I compare it to the NBA on Christmas. And I love watching NBA basketball all day long on Christmas. But they mix it up every single year. It's the best games. They're always division rival games or or really, whether it's the Lakers versus the Nets, whoever, they're going to take the best teams. It's almost like they probably write their NBA schedule. They start with Christmas Day and what games they want to have played, and then they write the rest of the schedule around it. And I think the NFL should take that approach. Like right now, give me Eagles, Dallas. Give me this week. Give me Green Bay versus Minnesota. That game from last week. That would have been a great division rival. Two teams fighting for the playoffs. Give me the Rams playing. Since they're a title contender. Give me something like that. And I think that's what they need to do more of is focus on finding matchups that are going to happen. Give me Kansas City against Denver, Kansas City against the Chargers. Give me rivalry games. I don't want to see the Raiders play the Cowboys. And again, who wants to see the Lions and the Bears this week? I mean, you've got the Lions who are 0 so far. They do have one tie, just one, against the Bears, who just leaked a story yesterday on NBC Sports Chicago. So not like a little small podcasting site, a legit NBC site said that Nagy, their head coach, is going to be fired on Friday. And now he's got to go in on Thanksgiving and coach. You tell me that game's going to be a good game to watch tomorrow. Because if you try to tell me it's going to be a good game, I won't believe you.
Well, I can't tell you it's going to be a good game because, first of all, Jared Goff's supposed to miss his second game in a row, and they have a quarterback I've never even heard of. The guy had like 2 fantasy points. I picked him up because I didn't have another quarterback, and I was like,
right.
Oh, well, maybe he'll get me 10. He had like 2 points. So he's playing for Detroit. And the Bears, they just benched, Justin Fields again for Andy Dalton. So they're a mess.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be I'm not looking forward to that game.
And this is the problem with having the Lions every single year on. You're going to always have at least one clunker on Thanksgiving. And that's not what we want. I want to watch football and want to enjoy football. I don't want to watch clunkers. Not on Thanksgiving.
Well, we did have maybe 1 or 2 games again where the Lions were actually – they had Calvin Johnson that were,
they were
really good. But you're right. Pretty much every year it's consistently bad football.
There's at least one game every year, whether it's the Cowboys, whether it's the Lions game, whether it's the night game now, that there's a really bad team playing. I want to see just like they tried to rearrange the schedule to have division games end the season so the games are more meaningful. I want important games every single year on Thanksgiving, not just whatever that they're throwing out there. I want them to focus on Thanksgiving and make it important. So that's just my opinion.
League. Well, no, and I agree with your opinion. I think the league needs to step in. The problem that I see is I think Jerry Jones and Dallas. I know they would fight it because they want to be on Thanksgiving.
That's fine. Then make sure it's Dallas versus one of their division rivals. Don't give me Dallas Raiders. Nobody cares about that.
That's just stupid. That to me is just piss poor playing by the NFL. Like I don't blame Dallas for having the game. That's something they've done tradition wise. I blame the NFL. Like you're right, dude. They need to get their head out of their ass. Like it should have been Dallas Eagles. Like that would have been a great game tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Like think about it. Now I know it sounds selfish, but even if I was an outsider, not an Eagles fan, that would to me would be a fun game watching Jalen Hurts against Dak Prescott. But no, you're watching, Dallas versus the Raiders, who talk about a team that had everybody fooled.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the Raiders were actually after 3 games, the Raiders are starting to look good. And they've just shit the bed since. So
absolutely. All right, let's look at the games more specifically. Obviously, we already touched on it. The Lions are home, as always, against the Bears. The 9-1 Lions versus the 3-7 Bears. The Bears are a 3-point favorite in this game. How I'm not sure. I don't know how you judge this game in a betting standpoint because it's just train wreck going against train wreck. If anything, you bet the under. It's 41 points the over-under. It'll probably be like a 17-10 game, especially with Andy Dalton and whoever that other guy is playing quarterback for the Lions. How do you see that game playing out? Because I see it being a low-scoring 17-10, 16-16 tie again. Who knows? I see it being super low-scoring. And actually, I think the Lions get their first win of the year.
I say 17-9.
Who?
Detroit.
Okay, just you didn't say who. I just had to.
Oh no. Yeah.
Had to lead you along there a little bit.
Well, I agree with you. I think it's going to be low scoring. I think Detroit will get their first win.
Did they get Shane Falco out the guy that blew the Sugar Bowl? Yeah, maybe. We're making replacement jokes here. I love my Shane Falco.
The thing is, they're at home, right? So
the Lions are always at home. Yes.
Yeah. So I think it's gonna. I think they're gonna run the ball. With Dalton not, really playing, the last, 5 or 6 weeks, it's been
right.
Fields. I will say this about the Bears, and it's crazy to say it, but pure scheme-wise, I mean, obviously, long-term, Justin Fields is definitely the answer, but I think he's a quarterback that came in that was kind of like overmatched. And he doesn't have a super great connection with his wide receivers. Now, I know a lot of that I still think is due to the COVID. I think these preseasons were obviously scaled back, and a lot of the teams took the Eagles approach where they didn't play players. Which, by the way, you and I both were against. Like we both said they needed to play more guys and in the preseason. Guy that comes to mind is the linebacker that's playing out of his mind now, TJ. Edwards. Yeah. So, and he wasn't even played the first 5 weeks of the season because they didn't know what they had in the guy. So that to me is part of the Bears' problem with Justin Fields. I don't think Justin Fields is going to be a bad quarterback. I actually happen to think he was one of the best coming out in the draft. I just think he's a guy that needs a little more time.
You need to carry a clipboard for a year.
Yeah, and I think it made sense to have Andy Dalton because not that Andy Dalton's a great quarterback, but he's a guy that, has had success in the NFL, and he has a connection with not only with Darnell Mooney, but Allen Robinson, who obviously missed the last game because of an injury. But Allen Robinson's been totally disappointing. I mean, not just in fantasy, just overall, because he's a guy that I would love. Now that's
when you're playing for your contract year, you expect even on the Bears team that's so bad, you expect a little bit more on your contract year.
Allen Robinson is the perfect fit for the Eagles, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
He's a guy he's a guy that you could probably, obviously his contract's up, so I don't know if you still have to make a trade, like if they franchise.
I don't know how that. Yeah,
I don't know how that will work.
Well, we'll deal with it. We'll deal with next year.
Oh yeah, but he's definitely a guy that I have my eye on because it's like, wow, everyone's like, oh my God, Allen Robinson sucks, dude. It's 1 year. He's having a bad year, and it was because of quarterback play more so than not. So
right. All right, next game. Raiders are in Dallas. Dallas is a 7.5-point favorite, even after putting up a stinker of a game against Kansas City last week. The over-under is still 50.5. Again, they put up 9 points last week, and the over-under is still super high. I'm torn on this because the Raiders are an enigma. We don't know what the Raiders are, even though they're 5-5. But we really don't know what the Dallas Cowboys are. I'm hoping to see the Raiders come out and put up a good effort today or tomorrow. But I mean, everything tells me that the Cowboys are going to be pissed off. They're at home. It's Thanksgiving. That it's just kind of that game where I just see John Madden giving Ezekiel Elliott and that offensive line the 19 turkey legs and turducken, old school style. When he used to give out those things and all after the Thanksgiving game. I just see it a game where Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, and company, even without CeeDee Lamb, even without Amari Cooper, are still going to put up a big offensive game just because they have to prove the doubters wrong.
Yeah, I mean, obviously my heart wants the Raiders to win. I keep wanting to say Oakland. I don't know why. My heart wants, Vegas to win. But, my gut is just telling me that you're right. It's going to be just one of those games where I think Dallas comes out and, obviously, that's what I was just pulling up the injuries, like CeeDee Lamb. I'm not sure. I know he's had a concussion, and I don't know.
Thursday game is really tough turnaround time on a concussion, so the odds are pretty stacked against him.
Yeah, and then, obviously Amari being out with COVID, which I think he has it. So they said it's 10-day minimum.
Yep.
And I believe tomorrow won't be 10 days. So he's definitely out. So even without those two weapons, but I'll tell you, man, Dallas has so many weapons. They're sneaky. Like, you could lose to CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper and still be successful because of exactly you just mentioned it. Michael Gallup. You also have the guy Cedric Wilson, and then on top of that, you have Dalton Schultz, who's really coming into his own as a tight end in this league. Yep. Honest to God, like Dalton Schultz right now might be a top 5 tight end. So I'm looking at, I think Dallas comes out and smacks them. I think it's like I'm going to say 28-21.
Okay.
I think they're going to pound the ball with Zeke and Pollard.
Okay.
And I think they kind of,
So you got the Raiders covering the spread then at that score, because that's under that 7.5. Yeah, I think the Cowboys blow them out. I think it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 35-24, 35-21, something like that. They run away, maybe some late touchdowns. I think it's even more blown out than that. And I think maybe the Raiders get a few late second, garbage time touchdowns. But it's going to be it's going to be bad. Yeah, the Raiders, are ending slowly. They're going to fire their GM. There's going to be quite a few GMs that are fired this offseason for sure. Mayock, Gettleman, there's going to be quite a few there. All right, final game, another enigma of a game, because we just watched the Bills get trounced on Sunday. The Bills traveled to New Orleans to face the Saints, so the Bills are now 6-4. The Saints are 5-5. Buffalo, even though they just got trounced, are 6.5-point favorites over the Saints. I kind of feel the Bills similar to the Cowboys, where they just need to come out and make a statement that they're not as bad as they've played, and I kind of think they do.
Well, it's funny because Aaron and I, Aaron, the co-host from Sports and Metal, we were just talking about the Bills yesterday and how they've kind of really underperformed, and it's very disappointing. Not only to local people that kind of had a rooting interest, outside of, because I always let's face it, I always adopt a team after the Eagles are out, and Buffalo's been that team that I've kind of looked at and they're just exciting. Like, they have Josh Allen. But the problem that I see with the Bills is exactly dealing with Josh Allen, because I think the team revolves so much around how he plays that when he has a bad game, they have a bad game. And I'm surprised because Buffalo has 2 young running backs. They have Zach Moss and they have Devin Singletary, who a lot of people forget. He's only 23 still. So to me, I think Buffalo needs to change their approach. They need to come out and run the ball. That to me is their bread and butter. And they've gotten so far away from that, trying to make Josh Allen this superstar quarterback. Not that he doesn't have the talent. He proved last year that he has the talent to throw the ball. But I think it's the same thing. We've talked about it with Jalen Hurts when the Eagles were passing 40 to 50 times. I don't think any quarterback can succeed in that mode unless they're named Pat Mahomes. So To me, I think that Buffalo needs to change their approach, pound the rock with Zach Moss, Devin Singletary, and Josh Allen, because Josh Allen runs.
Yep.
And kind of get that play action going to Stephon Diggs, and you have Gabriel Davis. And Emmanuel Sanders. So Buffalo has weapons. Buffalo just needs to get out of their own way.
Excuse me, sorry.
That's all right.
Little sneeze there. Had to clear that down. Anyway, I got Buffalo winning 35. We'll say 35-21, 35-24. I think it's going to be another shootout. Again, the Saints just Trevor Siemian, which I had it on. We talked about it yesterday with Jeremy on the show. Real quick, spend a minute or two on it. The thoughts of giving Taysom Hill, your backup quarterback, fullback, tight end, whatever you want to call him, a guy that doesn't even play, a $90-something million deal. It blew my mind when they gave that deal, and I think it's a waste of money, especially if they might as well be playing Taysom Hill as their quarterback right now, because you're not getting anything with Trevor Siemian.
Well, dude, I totally.
You really have to explain it. That's just stupid.
I don't understand why he's not their quarterback. Trevor Siemian, to me, is a guy he's just what do they call them guys that just go from team to team every year? I forget there's a name for it.
He's like a lifelong
exactly. Backup. He's just not. to me, if I'm the Saints, and you're still in contention at 5-5,
Yep.
I play the guy that I just gave, not only gave that contract to, but that showed last year flashes that of being able to run an offense and have success. I'm not saying that Taysom Hill is stud pocket quarterback, but we know what he is. I mean, he's a guy that can get out of the pocket, and he's able to throw the ball. Like, it's not like he's just some guy that's he's a gimmick guy and can't do anything. Like, he showed it last year. So why, to me, they're going with Trevor Siemian is kind of like mind-boggling. Obviously losing Jameis Winston, I think Jameis Winston's a guy that has all the tools in the world, but he's just never been able to kind of put it all together. And he
really thought this was going to be that year with Sean Payton.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because he was having a pretty good year, and I kind of feel bad for the guy because he's not a bad guy. Like,
no,
it's just,
he did go to Florida State, not my favorite school. I normally hate Florida State, but
whatever.
No. That's a story for another day.
Yeah, but it's to me it's just stupid. So I agree. I think the Bills come out and smack them. I'm going to say the Bills put up a 40 spot.
Okay, all right,
40-24 is
all
my
right.
final.
I can get behind that. Absolutely can get behind that. All right, real quick, because we're not doing a show tomorrow with Thanksgiving. We're not doing a show Friday morning. So this is the last time for Trending in the AM to talk Philadelphia Eagles, going into, the game against the Giants on Sunday. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. We got tonight trending for 4 quarters. We'll touch on the Eagles game a little bit, amongst other things. But the Giants, we talked about it yesterday with Jeremy on the morning show, that Sunday there was Monday night, there's a part of the game towards the end. I'm sure you've seen the really bad interception that Daniel Jones threw.
Yes.
Where he threw it right to a lineman. And after that play, you see them on the sidelines, and he's not paying attention to Jason Garrett, who's trying to go over, stuff. And he just kind of smacks, Daniel Jones and says, "Yo, pay attention." And Daniel Jones just shrugs his shoulder and looks away again. So we're talking about that and the bad body language, the bad vibes coming off that team. And then go figure, later yesterday, Jason Garrett is fired as the offensive coordinator. You got former Browns head coach Freddie Kitchens. He's going to take over play calling. The Giants are a disaster right now. But this is setting up this game this week, in my opinion. There's 2 things. The Eagles need to make a statement. They've just had a great run. They need to come out and absolutely stomp a mud hole on the Giants on Sunday, just to prove that we're not just a fake team. We are a real team. They can't let this game be close. But the Giants on the other side, they're going to try to prove that it was Jason Garrett's fault. Joe Judge is going to try to prove that it was Jason Garrett's fault. Daniel Jones is going to try to prove it was Jason Garrett's fault. How do you see the Eagles game playing out on Sunday then?
Well, I've kind of been cautiously optimistic about the Eagles lately. I mean, me, generally, I was super high on Hurts from day one. You know that. I said it on my shows. I said it on people's shows. I love Jalen Hurts. But I kind of took a back seat and tried to kind of see what's going to happen.
Right.
But I really am excited about this team again. Like, I have that excitement again. And I didn't even get to watch the last game, because I was at work, but I went back and I did watch the replay because I was just so excited. I wanted to see Jalen Hurts, make those, I heard about the play that he made. Let's call it the play, where he basically made a guy fall over, and then he just kind of, let's talk about that. Jalen Hurts is a playmaker. A lot of people have been down on the guy and saying, "Oh, he can't throw the ball and this and that." But what's the ultimate goal in NFL? To win. Right. And Jalen Hurts. My whole point is,
people are so critical about Jalen Hurts and questioning him, and he's basically still in his quote unquote rookie. He hasn't played 17 games yet, but yet Daniel Jones has gotten a pass for 3 years, and he's atrocious. 4 years maybe. I don't even remember how many years he's been in the league. Atrocious. So why does Daniel Jones get such a pass and Jalen Hurts doesn't? It boggles my mind.
Well, I think I think what it is Eagles fans are just so impatient, and
we
a
are.
lot.
There's
We
no
are.
doubt about that.
We'll be real, and we want like the quick fix, and we want the guy to be anointed. But I think the Eagles did it right this year. I think they have Jalen Hurts. They have a talent. They know it's untapped. I mean, I think he's a guy, like I said, he's continuing to trend up. Is he still struggling in some areas of his game? Absolutely.
Right.
Jalen Hurts is still, to me, a guy that is not – I'm not ready to anoint him as the long-term answer. Mm-hmm. But what I will say about Jalen Hurts is he has this team believing in him. And I think that's what is the super important thing to note. The way that he handles himself off the field carries over to the way that he handles himself on the field. Yeah, and absolutely. I love what I see. I'm excited about this game. I think the Eagles are going to win. I'll give you my prediction right now.
Yeah, I haven't even thought about it. I kind of just wung it there and threw it out there.
Well, I'm going to do it but since I was just thinking,
yeah,
I'm going to come out and give my prediction. I say Eagles win 24-17. It's going to be a close game.
Okay.
I think always divisional games, especially with the Giants. But I think Jalen Hurts continues that upward trend. I think Miles Sanders proved in the last game that he is capable of being that back if he's called upon. I know he did have the fumble, but I think Miles Sanders, to me, we've all been screaming from day one that this guy needs to be used more, and finally he is, and then people are bitching. So to me, it's like Miles Sanders is the home run hitter.
Absolutely,
and I think he comes out. I think he has another. I think he didn't get 100 yards. I think he had 90.
He had like 90 some yards.
He has a 100-yard game, and I think Jalen Hurts has 200 yards and 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing and 1 passing.
So. I like it. I can get behind that. All right, it's Thanksgiving tomorrow. Got to have a little fun to wrap the show up here for 2 seconds here. So I'm gonna pop something up on the screen here. You got to do it. You got to pick one. Where is it? There it goes. Got to eliminate one from your list there, Jason. What are you eliminating on Thanksgiving?
I love it. So for me, I saw a couple other people. I saw you posted this on
I've got like 40 retweets on this, or quote tweets on this, or 30 quote tweets. I don't even know. I can't keep track of all the comments that are rolling in on this.
Well, if I had to eliminate one, now this is just me personally. I can't eat cheese, so I'm eliminating mac and cheese.
All right, so you got a physical reason there
because of that.
I say, hey, get the ham out of here. Because ham is not Thanksgiving. It's turkey on Thanksgiving.
Well, no, and you just hit it. If I wasn't able to eat, if I was able to eat cheese and mac and cheese was my staple, then definitely ham. So I think we both agree ham is not Thanksgiving. Ham to me is Easter, New Year's. But yeah, definitely the ham.
There you go. I love it. Ham, get it out of there. Ham's gross. Actually, I think ham's the worst meat there is. I think it's super overrated, but that's just me. I'm a weirdo like that. Jason, thank you very much this morning.
Dude, I had a great time, man.
Yeah, great show as always here at Trending.
I love these morning shows.
Every single morning, Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. We will be off tomorrow for Thanksgiving and Friday for Black Friday. We're going to take the rest of the week off on the morning shows, but we'll be back next Monday with Overreaction Monday, my favorite segment of the week. Sorry, What Up with the Flyers is like number 2 or 3. Overreaction Monday is my favorite thing. I love it. It's one of my favorite days. Hopefully Jeremy's feeling better and is back. We are brought to you by Manscaped, as always. Go to manscaped.com. Use promo code TRENDING, the name of the show, TRENDING, at checkout. Get you 20% off and free shipping. It also lets you know, or them know, that we sent you. And Black Friday, they'll be having a special 25% off sale. So that code's going to get you 25%, not 20% off. So make sure you check it out. The leader in men's products and grooming products. Make sure you check them out. You can't miss it. You can't be disappointed there with their products. I want to say I'm thankful for this morning show. I'm thankful for DSM Media. I'm thankful for the connections I've made with Scotty, Dylan, and the whole entire team. I'm thankful for my man, Jason Voorhees, right here. Everybody have a great Thanksgiving. I will be back tonight with Trending for 4 quarters, where we're going to have a lot of fun. I have no idea who's going to be on the show. There's going to be so many different people popping in and out throughout the show. We're going to talk football. We're going to talk fantasy football. We're going to talk Thanksgiving. We're going to talk a little bit of everything tonight on Trending for Four Quarters. So make sure you tapped into DSM Media for that. Jason, happy Thanksgiving, my friend.
Happy Thanksgiving, man. I'm glad you're having a good time on vacation.
Yeah. I'm going to go have some breakfast here, enjoy another day in the Poconos. Hope you're all enjoying all my pictures and videos from the Poconos. Hey, everybody have a great day. If I don't see you tonight on the show, people, have a great Thanksgiving tomorrow. If not, I'll see you tonight, 9 p.m., right back here on DSM Media. Everybody have a great night, a great day.
Happy